Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world.
Live from the Keith Vincent Kaola Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media presents Is This Real Podcast. Tonight's episode, Lunar Landing, Fact or Fiction. And here is our host, Joe Kaola III.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for the introduction, Dad. As usual, I'm your host, Joe Kaola. I'm with Joe Jr., my father. What's up, Dad?
What's up?
I got Ryu West over here, my boy. What's up, homie?
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Roblox. Jay, what's up?
Yo, what's going on, man?
All right. As Dad said in our opener, we are doing the Lunar Landing tonight, the moon landing in 1969. Dad, you were alive. No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. I was alive.
No, you weren't.
I was alive in 1969. I was born in 1960.
That's true. I was thinking mom's birthday.
Mom was only 3 months old. Actually, 2 months old when they landed on the moon.
Completely
no, I'm
fucked
sorry.
up.
What was it, July 20th, something like that?
July 20th, 69.
Okay, so therefore, she was only a month and 5 days old. I, on the other hand, was
completely
nine.
Eight.
Eight and change.
Yeah,
almost 9. And I do remember it.
Up, right?
I do remember it, watching it in school. We brought a black and white TV set in school.
Back when you still rolled out the TV sets and everybody was still hyped.
That's enough out of you, West.
The small TVs, not even the big sets.
You had to crank it.
Hold on, wait, it's a new year. I have 6 of them left. Go fuck yourself. No, we had a black and white TV. The nun brought it out. She rolled it out. Thank you. She rolled it out to the thing. Fixed the rabbit ears and had to stand in a certain spot. But we did catch the.
They put a kid on the roof with the rabbit ears trying to catch the signal.
No, a few of them like to throw off the roof, but we didn't get that far.
It was out the window. Come on.
Yeah, so I do remember it. I do remember seeing it. It was we were all aghast. We were like, wow, this is, and it wasn't that you were proud to be American. You were just like, this is really cool shit. You're in like 4th grade and you're like, damn, this is great. I really enjoyed that, and it piqued my interest, for the rest of my life for NASA and all that stuff. But yeah, I do remember it.
So thank you for telling us your pastime. So tonight,
wow, you ask a question, you give an answer, and I got to get told about myself too.
Tonight, he's a real asshole.
I am a real
fucking
asshole.
Thing anyway.
Big fucking deal. So tonight's episode is actually brought to us by Eric. West, you are the person who brought us this, so please tell me a little something about the lunar landing tonight, and we'll try to discuss it. Give me a little history about the lunar landing.
Bet. I got you right now. Let me whip out my notes.
I thought he was going to whip something else. I'm like, keep it in your pants, bro.
Wrong episode.
Wrong episode. Anyways.
We'll discuss that in another episode.
The Apollo 11 was the one that landed on the moon. It landed on July 20th, 1999. It was part of the...
1969, homie.
Yeah, 1969.
You said 99.
My bad. 1969. Anyways.
And you failed me already.
Anyways. It was part of the Apollo program, or Project Apollo. Funded by the United States, NASA, America, from 1969 to 1972. It was first formed under the Eisenhower administration, a follow-up Project Mercury, which put the first person in space.
And who was that person?
I didn't look that up.
Ooh.
I just put little side notes.
Will Mr. Fact Man have to read it? Because I can if you want me to.
He just said it.
No, he didn't say it.
Let's see
Dad
what
said
else.
it. He said John Glenn.
Oh, was it? I thought it was it Neil Armstrong? I thought it was Neil Armstrong.
No, he was
Yeah, they put John Lennon on the moon.
John Glenn.
Ooh, wrong one. Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
This is the
Continue.
fastest any of these episodes ever gone to shitter.
hey, man, they got to go somewhere.
Anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
All right. So what are the? So basically, there's been a lot of conspiracy theories over the years about the lunar landing, that it was recorded, that it was faked, that was I've read a conspiracy theory that it was a bug in everybody's mind that put that image in, that image doesn't exist. Those videos don't exist.
Yeah,
It's really a fucked up thing, but I've had my questions watching the videos over the years. At least that the landing, the first.
Well, give me some of your questions. Maybe I can help you with them. Because I'm going to tell you right off the bat. I believe it happened. I believe that we did make it to the moon.
Personally, looking into it, I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, just to keep something like this quiet for so many years, and to have so many people involved in doing it. I mean, if you ever saw, Mission Control in Houston, Texas, the amount of people that they had in those places.
Well, that's fine, but I'm saying
you're not going to get anybody there to keep a secret.
What I'm saying is, it could have been that most of that could have been filmed. I believe that some of it was actually filmed, and
where?
It could have been filmed in a secret NASA base somewhere. Area 51. It could have been. To go back to our Area 51.
Well, I mean, that's also part of that's Apollo 11 was the one that landed people on the moon. There were other Apollo missions before that, and those were just like setting certain things up for future lunar landings.
Oh, Apollo,
I know that.
Like the first one, that one was a disaster. That one kind of just like blew up.
Apollo,
and it had people in it too.
I can't remember what Apollo. Well, that was actually the Mercury. We were talking about the Mercury 6 or Mercury 7. I can't remember which one. That was with the three astronauts, Grissom, White, and Chaffee. They died because they were in the capsule and they couldn't get out, and the thing went on fire, and it never left the launch pad. That was a really big setback for our program. However, Apollo. I don't know much about Apollo 8, but Apollo 9, I know they went to the moon. And they came back. Apollo 10, they actually went around the moon and they took out the lunar landing module, the lunar module, just to see if they can take it out and redock it in space. Once they got all the bugs out of that, that's when they went for Apollo 11. Now, you don't ever hear anybody saying anything about those Apollos because, it didn't do anything that they, could have been controversial.
It was a big political thing going on too back then.
Well, don't forget, John Kennedy had declared that he wanted to put a man on the moon in that decade. Well, the decade was coming to a close rather quickly. So, it's not like we just did something and, rushed it through and got it done in 15 minutes. These were over time, the Apollo 8, Apollo 9, Apollo 10, these all went in sequence. And that's what got us to the Apollo 11, which, by the way, Apollo 11 almost didn't land. It overshot its mark to land, and it was running out of fuel.
Oh, shit.
Therefore, by the grace of God, they found a place to land, and they landed it. It was 20 seconds left of fuel, and they would have had nothing. That would have been it.
Doof.
And
well, I mean, I'm looking at the video right now, at least the photos of the video on Wikipedia. And some of the shit, to me, for 1969, number one, looks too high def for a moon landing. Like,
they could have also rendered that for
those pictures.
the modern times.
But if you look at it, and sorry, I'm trying to get my words because I'm not good with English. It just looks too. To me, it just looks too fake. One, when you look at the video, the flag.
It was 11. It was the first one.
Oh, okay. Side talks.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I'm just talking. That's all right. Yeah,
yeah, you're right. You're right. Eric, hold on a minute. Eric just schooled me. That was Apollo 1 that was Grissom, White, and Chafee. It wasn't the Mercury.
Oh, well,
good job there, Mr. Fact Checker.
Coming from the NASA website itself.
Anyway, as I was saying, the flag moves. There's no...
Don't give me that bullshit. Come on, Joe.
The flag moves. There's no wind in space.
The flag moved because, first of all, the flag was folded up. Okay, they put it on this
the other claim
stand.
The other claim was that it was falling over when they took the photo.
Yeah, and it's clearly not doing it. The reason why the
there
flag
still
moved
would
in
not
the movie,
be any movement of that flag.
No, that's not true. The flag was unfolding itself. Number one, and number two, the movement of the astronauts going past it did all that.
You wouldn't just because the astronauts going past that would not cause anything to move that flag.
Why not?
One, there's no wind.
If you stood there with a fucking giant banana thing, appeal or whatever, or a giant fan in space, it's going to create something.
No, it's not.
Oh, so the fan's just going to blow nothing?
Yes. Do you know why?
No,
because
why?
there's no air in space.
It's a vacuum.
It's a vacuum. There's no wind. You're not going to create wind because there's nothing to push.
Exactly my point, though. If the flag is moving, it's still gonna. If it's it was actually folded together. If it's unfolding, okay, it's gonna be.
All right. So what's going to cause it to move while it's still in the ground?
Don't know. But do you honestly believe that this was filmed in where Area 51 is and in the desert? The winds out there aren't a little higher than that?
No. First of all, NASA has vacuum chambers that are not as accurate, at least in 1969, as there were in space. Now they are. You don't believe that?
No, I do not believe it.
You don't believe? Have you ever, I know it's a movie, but it's based on some type of reality.
Got you right here. Aldrin and Armstrong themselves said they had trouble pulling the flag all the way out right before they took that photo.
Exactly.
Because, you know why? Because it's a vacuum, which means there's no air. So when it's in the ground, right, they place the flag in the ground, America. When it's standing there, even to this day, there should be no movement where it should not wave.
Well, we're not looking at it to this day.
No.
Yeah, it's not waving. If we're getting at that point, it's not waving.
Yeah, it's not actually waving. It's just floating. There's a difference. Remember, it's
creating that ripple effect makes it looks like it's waving.
Yeah, it's next to no
I
gravity.
don't believe
It's
that,
the
I'm
same.
sorry.
No, it's the same theory as if you're on the moon and you have a rock in your hand and you don't throw it. You just let go of it. It's still going to float where you had it. And eventually it can move slowly because either it's going to drop because there's very little
That flag
gravity.
looked like it was fucking waving.
And you see, I mean, this is what drives me
That's
crazy.
if you watch the video. I mean, I personally have not actually seen it per se. I mean, I can go on YouTube right now and probably watch
No way,
it.
I'm getting it. Come
if
on.
this was any kind of fucking conspiracy or a hoax or anything like that, why did when Armstrong stepped off the lunar porch and landed on the moon, what did he say? Do you remember what he said?
First step for man.
One
giant step for man, a giant step for mankind, or some shit like that.
No, did not say that. He said, "This is." Well, yeah, he said, "This is a giant step for man, one giant step for mankind." He should have said, "This is a giant step for a man." And then, and for and a
I heard that
there
was. Yeah, I heard that there was.
Now, do you think for a moment if this was scripted, and he would have had said that he would have fucked that up? He would have got that right. If this was scripted and practiced and everything else, he would have got that right.
I don't care because first of all, coming from at least me and a normal person, if they would have sat there and shot my ass to the moon and I would have walked the fuck out, I would have been like, holy shit, I'm so high. That would have been my first, I don't care.
Remember, Joe, they're professionals.
I don't care. And it doesn't matter. You can be as professional as you want. You're on the fucking moon when you know nobody else is gone. You are invading a planet, not a planet, a
satellite.
A satellite in which you know nobody else has stepped foot on, ever. You don't think at that moment he didn't think, holy shit. My ass.
That's why he fucked it up.
To quote Anthony,
Probably.
He was higher than pigeon pussy.
Oh, Jesus.
At that point, oof.
That is why he screwed that whole statement up.
You could say what you want.
Because he was basically in awe of what he was doing.
Where's the fucking flag? I'm going to show this.
Oh, this is all you're going to hang your hat on is this flag?
Well, yeah, because the flag shouldn't fucking move.
Things can still float, though, Chewie.
Floating and waving is different.
Okay, he shot a golf ball when he was on the moon. Okay?
Well, it's still going.
We don't know if it's still going because no, it doesn't. The moon has gravity. It's only like 1/4 of what we have here, but it still has gravity. So the golf ball came down, but the golf ball did float. No.
So Joey, I'm just gonna point out real quick to you that that whole maybe Hollywood has something to do with it, or it was filmed somewhere. That was proposed back in 1980 by the Flat Earth Society. So I don't know if you want to.
No, we don't associate.
I want to know if you want to associate yourself with flat earthers.
No, I'm not associating myself with flat earthers, but there is some ripe to that. I'm watching the video and this fucking thing is flying. I don't care what anybody tells me. All right, you could say what you want. You could turn around and disagree, and that is your God-given American right.
America.
That's fine. Oh. But I am going to sit here and respectfully disagree with you.
That's fine. That's why we have the show we have. It
still
doesn't make you're right. You're still fucking wrong.
So do you also want to debate the why there's no stars in the background of the photo?
Well, no, I know why there's no stars in the background.
Oh no, illuminate me. Let me know why.
No, I don't know.
He was just throwing out a question.
I don't know. Because like you really believe that, like it's like there's no stars in the background because it was inside, right? It was in the warehouse.
So what about all the stuff they brought back? The lunar rocks they brought back. They all analyzed to be from the.
I didn't turn around and say that it was completely faked. I said I believe part of it was faked.
You think it was to beat the Russians?
Of course, it was to beat the Russians.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Harsh to win, see you. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
So what was fake? The fact that we landed on the moon?
I think some of it was
now
fake.
You got me confused. If part of it is faked, which part was fake?
I think some of the video was fake. That's what I was saying.
Okay, but the topic is, did we land on the moon or not?
Oh, I think we landed on the moon.
Okay, with Apollo 11?
Yeah, with Apollo 11.
And you believe that he stepped off the lunar module onto the thing?
Yeah.
And they took the photos of the footprints?
Yeah.
And there was a lunar rover and all that stuff. That's all up there still?
Well, I don't know. I'm not up there.
Well, where do you think? There's not a used rover salesman on the moon. It's got to still be there. There's like 4 or 5 of them. However, these nitwits that want you to believe that we faked it and everything else are basically telling us that we used the same lunar rover in every other mission.
What? You don't see the fucking thing waving?
Okay. You need to get your glasses cleaned.
Maybe you need glasses, motherfucker.
And or changed. I'm staring at the same video you're staring at right now, and that thing is barely even moving or what you call waving. Mm-hmm. It is floating in space. As you can see, there's a little bit of gravity because the guy's bouncing around in front of it. The flag is not actually waving. It's not like there's some kind of high wind impact up there that is going to make the flag go like this.
I know that, but at the same time, it shouldn't be doing it at all.
It's floating, Joey. Anything can float with very little gravity. I would float up there too. I'm 340. I can guarantee you put my fat ass up there, I'm still going to float at some point. There's very little gravity. It's the same thing with rocks and everything else.
What did we just establish?
You throw a rock over there, that thing going to be a bullet.
One thing we just established.
But it'll only go so far.
You guys are definitely the girth of the program.
Okay, first of all.
Fuck you.
I don't appreciate your tone,
Look,
Joe.
I'd be humbled. Sorry.
Eric, you have any other conspiracy theories for
you? Let's
the
see.
Lunar
There's
Landing?
people about the footprints. If they think those are fake. There's one that they say that there's a C that they found when they took a photo that there's a rock and it has like a perfect C on the rock.
Oh, I've never
And
heard
that one and people claim that is part of a Hollywood prop.
Mm-hmm.
For the
well, you
the
know
landing.
what? You know what's interesting to me, because we talked about this through one of the all the way back in October when we were talking about the big our scary movies, and we talked about The Shining.
Yeah.
And the director of The Shining, what's his name again, Dad?
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. There was a conspiracy that he was the one who directed the Lunar Landing video.
The hoax video.
The hoax video.
That was his, and the reason why they say he did that was because that was his apology, because he couldn't come out and tell everybody, I faked the moon landing, but my apology is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
If you can figure it out in this movie. Now, look, the movie did have some crazy shit in there. I'll give you that, but it had crazy shit all over the place. It could have been an ode to the Nazis. It could have been something about the American Indians. There's a lot of visual in there about that. But the stuff in The Shining that strikes me, a couple of things. One would be when they were in Stuart Owner's whatever his name is, when he was in an office, and the camera is looking at the window. The window pane looks like a giant 11, and in the middle of that, there's a statue that's an eagle. Mm-hmm. The eagle was.
That's the Apollo 11.
Right. So and then the kid wore an Apollo 11 shirt, and then there was something on one of when the kid at the beginning of the movie when the kid was getting sick and a doctor visited him, there was an article or something about Apollo 11 on there, and I'm sure there's a few other things that these conspiracy guys can, if they want to bring this in, but they say that was his apology to the world, saying, I'm sorry I faked it, I shouldn't have faked it, it wasn't real, whatever.
It's funny that because I'm on the moon landing conspiracy theorist page, and as far as the environment goes, there's a lot of things that people have been just gripes about, and of course the fact checkers checked all of this, because apparently fact checkers are all over the internet now.
Fact.
So as far as the environment goes, they turned around and said the astronauts could not have survived the trip because of the exposure to the radiation from the Van Allen radiation belt and galactic ambient radiation, radiation poisoning and health threat from cosmic rays. Some conspiracists have suggested that Starfish Prime, a high-altitude nuclear test in 1962, formed another intense layer of the Van Allen belt. Now again, we've had multiple trips to the space and moon since 1969.
To the space.
To just that particular space.
To the space.
So it's obviously that you could throw that out of the window. Like,
you also got to look into, but then again, I don't know how deep these fact checkers looked into it. I didn't look that deep into it, because back in 1969, the Earth and the Moon were in a whole completely different position in space compared to how it is when these fact checkers did this.
No,
so you never know.
No, I know, but I mean, obviously during the 60s, you had the giant. The nuclear tests. There was a lot of nuclear tests in the 60s and the 40s and the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were testing nuclear bombs, so you don't know what you can sit there and you don't know what the fuck the atmosphere was like in that time. So you can't turn around and say that we could or couldn't survive, because obviously they did. And they survived a lot more trips after that. You know what I mean?
So they're claiming that the
astronauts, Neil Armstrong and who's the other guy?
Buzz Aldrin.
Always forget Buzz Aldrin. I don't know why. He has a fucking cool ass name. Buzz Aldrin is amazing. But they're claiming that the astronauts could not have survived the pass through the Van Allen radiation belt.
Here on Earth.
Yeah. Well,
to get when you're like breaking
the Van Allen radiation belt is a zone of energetic charged particles, most of which originate from solar wind, that are captured and held by and around the planet by the planet's magnetic field. Earth has 2 such belts, and sometimes others may temporarily be created. So, we're learning about Earth in this podcast episode tonight.
Yeah.
The Earth. The Earth.
Another one, the film cameras would have been fogged by radiation.
Oh, like the radiation would have like completely like...
Yeah. But the fact checkers said that the film was kept in metal containers that stopped radiation from fogging the film's emulsion. I said that right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Furthermore,
Shout out to English.
Furthermore, film
Joe.
carried by
1 point, Joe. English. Boop. 27.
Furthermore, film carried by uncrewed lunar probes such as the Lunar Orbiter and Luna 3 was not fogged. So yeah,
Okay.
So that kind of contradicts.
I just want to get back to the Van Allen belt. How they did that was basically, but the thing called Operation Dominic. Okay,
like Dominic's Pizza. Shout
The
out.
Americans conducted a series of nuclear tests in the 60s called Operation Dominic. It included a group of atmospheric tests called the fishbowl events, designed to understand how nuclear weapon debris would interact with the Earth's magnetic field, the highest of all, whatever, megaton. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, what they did was
technical stuff.
Inside these things, they realized what the maximum protection they would need to put these people in space. So yeah, they could have done it. They're telling you they actually found out with these tests how they would be able, what they would need to protect themselves to go through a Van Allen belt.
Like
debunked.
Oh, I debunked the film cameras one, or at least they debunked the film cameras one. Number 3, the moon's surface during the daytime is so hot that the camera film would have melted.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
That's another reason why they had metal containers, stuff like that, right?
Well, it said there is no atmosphere to efficiently bind lunar surface heat to devices such as cameras that are not in direct contact with it. In a vacuum, only radiation remains as a heat transfer mechanism. The physics of I came to a word I don't know how to say. Radiative?
Where are you?
The physics of radiative heat. I said that correctly.
Yeah, you did.
Bet. 2 points for me tonight, bro.
2 points for Joey.
I'm on a fucking roll.
Go
heat transfer are thoroughly understood, and the proper use of passive optical coatings and paints was enough to control the temperature of the film within the cameras. So, boom, debunked number 3. All right, so number 4, the Apollo 16 crew could not have survived a big solar flare firing at them out of when they were on their way to the moon. But no large solar flares happened during the flight. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to throw something out there just to...
Yeah, I was going to say, aren't solar flares common, though? I mean, it's coming from our sun, and it's always on, so I don't
They are.
see...
They vary in degree, actually. You can get a solar flare that's very small, and it'll interrupt,
Yeah, sometimes my farts are even more dangerous than a solar flare.
It'll interrupt some kind of, It'll send a magnetic field to the Earth.
With that weight,
and
Joe,
if it gets through it can interrupt the radio transmission. However, a bigger one could actually damage equipment. It could do that.
Yeah,
So,
y'all
like satellites start falling and stuff.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen fucking Armageddon? Mm-hmm.
Y'all ever played Modern Warfare 2?
Yes. I remember that.
When them
Holy
helicopters
shit.
started crashing down and everything.
So number 5, the flag placed on the surface of the astronauts fluttered despite being there being no wind on the moon. What are you raising your fucking hand for?
Keep reading.
Okay. That suggests...
Wait, Joe, you've never asked. Josh, what do you think about this whole situation?
I know, right? I'm getting left out.
Okay. You know, that's true.
I'm tired of all
Wait,
Even you
hold
forgot
on.
about Josh now.
Wait,
Shit.
no, we're not giving opinions just yet. I didn't say anything about opinions.
He really hasn't said anything.
I know. I don't want to do this podcast anymore. Thanks, Joey.
Well, okay, say what you need to say, Josh.
Well, I don't know what to say. You didn't ask me.
I say Josh cut his mic. That's what I say. But that's just me.
You touch my mic, I will fart.
Oh, jeez. You're something else. You know that? Really?
Let's just, you know what? Let's get it. Hold on. Let's take a word from our sponsor real quick. Are you looking for a vinyl LP or cassette tape? 45 RPM? If so, you've come to the right place. Golden Spins. We have thousands of titles in stock and ready to ship. Call us at 862-336-2275 or go to our store at discogs.com/seller/goldenspins/profile. We can find whatever you may need. We proudly accept PayPal and every major credit card. All right, back from our sponsor. So we were talking, Josh. What is your opinion on this so far? Give us lighten us over a Black Sun.
I think it's real. I don't think it's faked. If you go by pure science, everything is proven. There should be no myths or anything like it. I mean, would there be a possibility of Hollywood in it? Yeah, sure, there could be. But what the hell's the point? It was actual legit time in our history where we were racing to the moon. It was something that humans could accomplish. Now, unfortunately, nowadays, it kind of seems like no one gives a shit about that type of stuff. And come on, let's be honest. When was the last time you heard anything about a space launch for any reason?
Elon Musk last year.
Okay, he doesn't count, and he has way too much money just to have
He does count. It was civilian launch.
He also put a car into the fucking
I was going to say, he definitely put a Tesla in space.
Yeah.
So what? That's fucking amazing. That does count.
No, it doesn't, because he did that just because he had money to waste. No one cares.
Wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't waste it on putting a fucking car in space.
I would.
Thank you. I would too. I would. Look, I have that much money.
If I had
I'm going to fucking space. I'm trying to. Look,
there's literally.
I'm gonna buy property on the fucking moon. All right, that's what I'm gonna do.
There's literally billions of problems that you can solve with the amount of money that he wasted just to do that.
Oh, stop! And they wasted money on this. So like,
who needs to feed the hungry? Fuck them.
Well,
Fuck the homeless. Fuck the homeless. They can go over. They can go to Raw US's Tent City. Brought to you by.
Brought to you by.
You know, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, all I'm saying.
Shuttles now to and from the airport and the bus station.
As I was saying
guys,
before,
I've gone from LA to Jersey now.
Now to the moon.
On to the moon now. Elon Musk, I'm coming for your ass.
Yes, Tent City on the moon. This crater provided by Ryu West.
You go see me in a suit. You go see me in a suit, just like. I need a crater.
Before I was rudely interrupted.
No, real quick. One last bit, because I usually don't add to this nonsense. But could you imagine if he had something on the moon? Could you really see smoke in space? That's my only question. Because he would be high and he would be the first one.
He'd be really high.
He'd be smoking and blow it out, and I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to like customize my spacesuit or something.
Eric Ryu West Polanco, the first man to grow organic weed from the moon.
My astronaut photo gonna be holding my helmet and my pot like.
All right. I just wanted to add to that. We can continue. I'm sorry.
Naturally grown.
I had to add that part.
You think you're high now? Wait till you get a taste of West's moon pot.
You ain't had this before.
All right, back to our regular scheduled program.
Getting back to the flag, this suggests that it was filmed on Earth and a breeze
Eric, can you give me a fucking pound of lunar?
All right, I guess
Lunar
we're not
Landing gold.
Well, your dad needs it, so that's that's okay. Anyway,
so they debunked this. Apparently, I don't believe what they said, but they said the flag was fastened to a upside down L-shaped rod. I guess that's what it's called. I don't fucking know. So that did not hang down. So the flag did not hang down. It did not hang low. It did not fly to and fro. The flag only seemed to flutter when the astronauts were moving it into position. Without air drag, these movements caused the free corner of the flag to swing like a pendulum over for some time. The flag was rippled because it had not been folded during storage. The ripples.
Didn't we just hear this about a half hour ago?
I don't fucking believe it. I don't care what they say.
Oh, okay.
We know how fucking bad the fact checkers are. The fact checkers are on the internet.
This is not fact check. This is common fucking sense.
It's not common sense. It's
yes,
common,
it is. All right, let me ask you a question.
Common sense would turn around and say that it doesn't move.
Okay.
on the moon.
Have you ever taken apart? Have you ever put a tablecloth on a table and you just took it out of the package?
Yeah.
Okay. What does it look like?
All crinkled up.
Yeah, it looks crinkled up.
It's got creases and stuff, right?
It still would have fucking moved on the moon.
Dickless. It would. You would still.
I don't appreciate that. All right, hairless. All right.
I don't give a shit, Tubby. That's the way it's gonna work here.
This is not fucking fun. This podcast has completely
It's
went
the
off the rails.
insult show.
Okay, first of all, you deserve it. So, Dad, go ahead.
Thank you.
I deserve it. I didn't call a name.
You can't have something that's going to be folded for that length of time.
It was shot in a fucking rocket, bro. Do you know how much fucking momentum that shit was going through?
I don't give a fuck.
America, bro.
He's not going to bite. He's not going to bite, which is unusual
because
for him. But anyway,
there's not going to be any movement for a flag. I don't care if it's wrinkled or not on an L-shaped rod. I don't give a fuck.
Let's just agree to disagree on this one.
We can agree for you to go fuck yourself. How about that?
Let's find something else. Do you have an article there where they accused the lunar people, whatever the hell they are, our astronauts of using the same lunar rover for every mission when they landed?
I have not gotten
thousands of miles from their thing. Come on.
I've heard of that one.
Number 6, it said the footprints in the moon dust.
That goes to the Mars one.
Okay.
The footprints in the moon dust are unexpectedly well preserved despite the lack of moisture. So it says moon dust has not been weathered like Earth's sand and has sharp edges. This allows the dust particles to stick together and hold their shape in the vacuum. Does that make sense?
Well, let me ask you a question though. How do we know that?
Well, science.
So science can tell you that the lunar dust has got edges or whatever. Mm-hmm. We would have to take that back to Earth, right? We would have to analyze it.
I never said they never went up there.
Okay, so
I never said that.
Exactly what is the problem with your conspiracy about the moon?
I believe that they didn't catch enough film up there, and they needed to make a spectacle out of it because obviously it is a spectacular moment. So they needed to enhance it a little bit more. So they just filmed more to add to it. They got exactly what they needed, and then just said, "Hey, Neil," or whoever was in the suit, we don't know.
And how did they replicate the gravity on this?
I told you
Earth
with the fucking with the vacuum centers at NASA.
So they made these vacuum centers with the rocks and exact same landscape as Tranquility Base. Is that what you're telling me?
That can be done.
Okay.
It's called a movie set, bro.
Okay. All right. Fine. Whatever. You want to buy that? You want to buy that horse shit? That's fine. You can buy it all you want. But you know what? Here's the problem I have with these conspiracy theories.
Just like the man who completely got us into conspiracy theories.
No.
No, he's talking about these specifically.
This theory right here is based on some nitwits that don't have any fact.
Oh, bet. Just because you said that. So
Eric just got an erection.
Okay.
You don't have to point it out.
Damn, man.
The fuck? Never have anything. Anyways, because you said that one of the things that started out these origins for the conspiracies, this guy wrote a book. We never went to the moon and America's $30 billion scandal, self-published by a guy named Bill Casing, released in '76, and he makes claims that a successful moon landing was calculated to be 0.0017%, and despite by being clearly monitored by fucking what is it?
This was written in the notes?
The Soviet Union. Hey, listen, I didn't tell you this. My bong fell on my notes, so I'm kind of just like trying to figure out exactly what I wrote here, and I wrote in cursive too. So I was really okay. Anyways,
I don't know how we're gonna dig our way out of this hole.
Anyways.
We're here. Don't worry. I got him. I'm with you right there.
You with me. You with me. Anyways, so what was it? Yeah, 0.0017%. And despite being clearly monitored by the Soviet Union, it would have been easier to fake the landing than going to it. And side note, this guy was a U.S. Navy officer with no knowledge of rockets or technical writing, and was hired by Rocket Power? Yeah, by Rocket Power. It was a company that built F1 engines as a senior technical writer.
So basically, it's his opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not based on anything. There's no, again, like with every theory, it's not based on anything. And that's the issue I got with this whole fucking thing. We have lunar rocks that were taken. Now, you might have a point, Joe. They might have needed to add some footage to it.
That's all I'm saying.
A little flair, a little pizzazz, a little Salt Bay.
They might have had to do that to enhance it.
What's his face says? Kablam.
But that's not what's going on here. What's going on here is people are flat out saying it didn't happen. Well, it didn't happen because this is preserved and that's not preserved and this and that. But they don't have a fucking clue, because basically anything they got, the knowledge that they got from the moon, was brought back from the fucking moon. So we have lunar rocks, and they're great and they're wonderful. They fill up our museums, and the people come to see them. But you know what? We never really went to the moon. So I guess the lunar rocks jumped off the Earth, jumped off the moon, and somehow caught tailwind and flew all the way down to us.
It was the aliens.
It could have been the aliens. You never know. I mean, this is utter nonsense. This whole fucking thing. Joshua, what do you think about this?
You can jump in. It's like we don't have to specifically say, "Hey, Josh, what do you think?"
Here's your cue.
Well, I like
just fucking jump in, we all do.
I like when Dad does it because it's nice.
Why, do you feel important?
Yeah, and you always skip over me.
Don't fuck with our tech manager like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I'm finding a way to scratch your name out of the credits.
Fuck you. You're not getting... I'll change all the passwords, motherfucker.
Oh, my God. I got a headache.
Well, I'm with Big Joe on this. I do believe it's real. They brought the stuff here.
I do believe.
You can't really argue with it. You really can't.
I'm not arguing with it.
I know.
I never said that.
You're basically saying everything we are, except you have some kind of an issue with a little bit of extra footage.
So now I'm going to go back to the original title of this. Lunar Landing. Fact or fiction?
Oh, it's fact.
It's fact. Joshua?
Fact.
Ryu?
I believe it's fact.
Yeah, I do too. So the only thing we're disagreeing on, it could be the extra film that might have got filmed. Now, did he do this for Apollo 11 and then the subsequent lunar flights too? Like, 12,
well, no. Do you know
13
why?
Didn't go, 14, 15, and
Do you
16?
know why?
Why?
You know why? Because it wasn't as important at that point. At that point, when they started going to the moon again, old hash. This was important because it was the first time we sent man to walk on the moon.
So you're telling me, my question to you is, was the consecutive lunar landings and all the video that came from them, that was real?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they fake that?
Because I believe they didn't get enough footage from the first one because the first time they're doing this.
What extra footage do you see that they added to this?
Well, it's an hour 15 video. If you watch the whole thing, it's restored and everything on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And there's shit. Well, no, 2 hours.
See breaks? Do you see breaks in it?
There's jumps.
There's jumps in it?
Yeah, there's jumps in it.
I'm going to watch the video myself.
It could be because it's restored and it's on YouTube, but there are some jumps in it that make you question.
Okay, three of you's got computers here. My phone is dying. Try to find out how much the exact amount of footage was taken?
Well, I'm looking at it right now. From the video I have,
The
it's
official
exact 3 hours. 3 hours and 2 minutes.
So they took 3 hours of film from the moon, and you're questioning an hour.
I don't know about an hour. I don't know how long I'm questioning.
So again, 3 hours wasn't enough time. After the 3 hours, they got back into the thing and they took the fuck off.
I don't know if they got it while being up there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so you're saying that
they didn't get enough
15 minutes up there, but the 2 hours.
I don't know how long they got. I don't know how long they got up there.
That's my question to you. How much is the official footage?
3 hours. I'm looking at it right now.
From NASA.
Yeah, from the NASA video, from the live video that they had, it was 3 hours long.
So then where's the fucking question? If we saw it live on TV, what's the question? Where's the extra footage coming in? Wait, hold on.
Here, right here. The original recordings of the first humans landing on the moon 40 years ago were erased and reused, but newly restored copies of the original broadcast look even better, NASA officials say.
Okay. So the people say, well, yeah, that's not true. Because
this was back in 2009.
Why were they erased? Why were they erased?
I don't know. Why did he? Well, then why did the live Leonard Skinner album wind up being in a tape vault somewhere and nobody found it? And then years later they found it, restored it, and then brought it out. Why do videos go missing?
Because they needed to restore it.
Oh my God, this horse shit's gonna continue. You have no evidence to back you up at all. I got video. I got audio. You can claim it's fake all you want. But if you can't prove it, then you got a theory. You got a question.
Well,
you got a theory.
Is,
and again, you have a theory that you can't prove.
I'm just questioning the video. That's all I'm saying. I could sit there and not believe it. Again, it's my God-given American right.
America.
And we did this because we are America.
America.
So, is that with a K, by the way? I don't know.
Hey, let's not.
Well, you
stop adding the K's.
America.
Well, look, that's my opinion about the whole thing.
Look
I think
how passionate he gets. Jesus.
Because I don't like. I'm a big fan of NASA. I think that NASA is a very important part of the country, and I think NASA should be protected. And I'm really getting fucking tired of these people that have to have a conspiracy about everything. There's like nothing that. If you want to have a conspiracy, please base it on something. So give me a little bit of truth in there.
See, I love how NASA, we have to protect NASA, but they're the ones that are behind fucking Area 51. Everybody wants to get behind that.
First of all, let's get something straight. We did a whole episode on Area 51. NASA's not behind Area 51. It's the Air Force. Okay. The Air Force, that's actually Groom Lake. It's the Air Force.
Okay.
Did you not pay attention to our podcast?
I did.
Okay.
But I believe
apparently
NASA's
you
a
must
part
have
of
thought,
it.
we'll go back in time,
Come on,
review some of
lit
these.
one.
Come on now.
I'm just saying. I think that's all we can cover for this episode.
No, bullshit. We got more to go. No.
Okay.
I want to know, again, is there any other theories about any other lunar landing? Apollo 12, 14, 15, 16, 17?
Oh, we're not talking. Okay, so.
Because if we faked the first one.
No, yeah, because there's another conspiracy saying that like all of the Apollo missions were all of them were fake.
Look, you're going to have people that have conspiracy theories about anything. No matter what the government does or anything that happens in the world, this is so off topic, but there's a giant conspiracy theory out there that we're literally all just in the Matrix. And everything is just all fucked up, and this is all based on non-reality. Everything that you do is based on non-reality. That's a giant conspiracy theory out there. So you're gonna have conspiracy theories about everything. So of course there's gonna be conspiracy theories about Apollo 17, Apollo 8, Titan 2. I'm looking at Atlas, Saturn 5. You're gonna have conspiracy theories about all of them.
There's too many people smoking too much Babbage. That's the way it comes down to it.
People like
don't point at me, motherfucker.
No. He's
That's
lucid,
not
dude.
I don't smoke garbage.
Everybody's got to have a theory, because if they don't have a theory, they don't feel important. Now, you want to bring in theories? I could give you a laundry list of theories.
Fuck you, all right? This is why we do with the show, because of theories. Stop it.
Right, well, I understand.
People don't have theories. We don't have content, asshole.
No, not really. Look.
We're going to sit here and talk. Hey, Eric, nice beard.
What beard?
Exactly. Dun dun. That's what I'm saying. Like, stop. Let people have their theories.
You can have your theories, but I'm telling you right now, you have no shred of evidence.
I'm just questioning. That's
and the topic of the name of this podcast is it real? Yes.
Okay.
In this case, it is real.
I believe part of it is real. Yes.
Part of it is real.
As Roadblock likes to say,
who's on first? I don't know. Third base.
I'm on the fence.
You're on.
I gotta coin that phrase. I'm on the fence.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence about it.
Okay, can we take just a split second? Because I'm going down the Apollo missions. Can we just say, at least from my perspective, how ass fucking backwards these missions were?
Sure.
At least in my opinion. So check this out really quick. As an actual list of all the Apollos, the very first one was the...
Do you have Night at the Apollo there?
It was Apollo 1, and that one blew up.
Yes, the very first one was blowing up, and it claimed the lives of 3 people. Mm-hmm. Do you want to know how, at least to me in my mind, how fucked up that sounds? Because
I would have stopped.
No. And that's why I said it's ass backwards. That's the first one. Killed three crewmates.
Right.
Then you have Apollo 2, Apollo 3, Apollo 4, Apollo 5, Apollo 6. Lasted about 10 hours and proved that manned spaceflight is a possibility. Why the fuck did they risk people to begin with the very first mission if they didn't want to go that far?
I'm going to clear that up for you right now.
Because that's 4 missions.
Was what happened to them in that?
Bro, you got to have your test dummies. I'm sorry.
They were never meant to go into space. That was a test on the launch pad to see whatever, and it backfired. Okay, that was. I don't believe they were going to put him in space. I could be wrong, but I don't believe that they were. Because don't forget, you still had to get. They were still sending dogs in space to see if they could handle the pressure.
Yeah, now Sparky is fucking floating up there.
They were on the launch pad. They died, and I don't believe. I believe they died during a test run. I don't think it was actual. Flight sequence.
I'm sorry, not to sound like the cold-hearted asshole.
Website right now.
Not to sound like the cold-hearted asshole, but you need test subjects. Like for the bigger fucking.
Yeah, but Josh is right though, because you know what?
You have Apollo 2 to at least 5 that was showing suborbital test flights. You have one that was the first all-up test of the Stage 3 Saturn V rocket. It's like they're testing so many factors one by one.
Right.
But why was it the first one that had manned people and you risked their lives?
Good question.
That seems really fucked up and partially intentional, in my opinion. It's like if you're going to test something, you have the computers and the knowledge to do it. Test it.
Well, when did
Apollo
1 go up?
27th of January, 1967.
So that's 2 years before the Apollo, whatever the fuck.
Yes.
So yeah, you're gonna put someone in there because one.
I mean, eventually, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so I'm just saying,
stages.
Like you're gonna need someone to go in those no matter what. And they're like, we haven't really settled this down after the first one, so let's just put up rockets this time. Now, granted, yes, they could have done that first, but they turn around and say, well, our main goal is to put people in these, so let's try to do this and see if we could do it right the first time. And obviously, it did not go right the first time.
But that's like overconfidence.
Put a dog in there.
We're America.
2, 3, 4,
We're America.
5.
We're overconfident.
5 Apollos after Apollo 1 were all tests unmanned. It says it specifically. All the way up until Apollo 7, first manned test of the command and service module. Okay. Orbited Earth 163 times and spent 10 days and 20 hours in space.
Sometimes
that was Apollo
works.
7.
Right. Obviously, it didn't.
And how many were in that? Was that 3 in that crew? Or?
The crew was, I'll give you the names really fast. Walter M. Schirra Jr.
God bless you.
Wally Schirra.
Don F. Eisel. And
God bless you, sir.
I don't know.
Walter Cunningham?
Yeah, well, it says R first. I don't know what the R is. R. Walter Cunningham. That was the crew.
Referee Walter Cunningham.
They probably shortened it.
That's the one that.
Well, no, I don't know his name. I was just making it up.
Will you stop for just 2 seconds?
Seriously.
Jeez.
Excuse the fuck out of me. I'm trying to help.
You ain't going to help? Be quiet.
That one was, yes, it was a test flight.
Well, I'm going to get some water then.
3 people, orbited 163 times, and spent 10 days and 20 hours in space. So then the next one, being first mission to take humans to the moon and back, was supposed to be Apollo 8.
Right.
That had Frank Borman, James A. Lovell Jr., and William Anders. Then they did it again, Apollo 9, first manned flight of lunar module.
Right.
Human reactions to space and weightlessness were tested in 152 orbits. Wow. That was a crew of James A. McDivitt, David R. Scott, Russell L. Schweikert, if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
And then Apollo 10. Second to orbit moon, spacecraft was 14 kilometers within the lunar surface, achieving the closest approach to the moon in that time. Crew was Thomas P. Stafford, John W. Young, and Eugene Cernan.
Cernan.
Sorry.
Yeah, Gene Cernan.
Yeah.
So he went out later to do talk show hosts and stuff like that.
Yeah. So out of the first 10, you had 1, 2, 4. So it was actually 5 and 5.
Okay.
Basically, 5 unmanned, 5 manned.
Now let me ask you.
But
you know something interesting? That's just to completely throw it off topic. I'm looking at the Apollo 12 mission, and it kind of makes sense as to, like, I guess why we haven't gone back to the moon, because their main objective for the mission was to, like, scout the area, and one of their sub missions was to check if further evaluations of human capability to work in the lunar environment for prolonged periods of time. So maybe they found something that they were just like, hey, maybe people aren't meant to be up here for long periods of times.
Well, obviously, because the atmosphere is horrible. You know, no air. It gets really hot during the day, really cold during the night.
How would you like to have been the people, the astronauts in the earlier Apollos, knowing that the big deal of this is to land on the moon, but you're actually basically a test dummy at that point. You know, you're testing the rockets, you're testing all this stuff, so somebody else can grab that glory.
Unsung heroes. That's what I classify.
Well, no, they are, and to imagine being that person, you got to have, you have to have no ego at that point. You have to be, satisfied that you are helping the greater good.
Look, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. Again, I'll give the man credit because he has an amazing name. Buzz Aldrin, fucking great name.
I've heard he had an anger. I heard he had an anger problem and kind of like really like used to hit people because they said like, nah, you were on the moon, and like he would like really,
maybe they try to leave you on the fucking moon. All I'm saying is, look, they got the luck of the draw.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's still shitty because if you continue even after Apollo 11, you have Apollo 2, the second manned mission to land on the moon.
So you don't know those people's names. You know why? Because it's old hat at that point.
Their names are right here. I can literally read them.
What I'm saying is not that way, asshole.
Is it because it wasn't on TV?
It was, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, we sent someone to the moon. This was a historic moment in human history.
Yes, Apollo 11, yes.
And the reason Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, is because it is a historic moment in human history. Anything after that, the only people you probably know of astronauts named after Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin is because they got blown up in a fucking mistake with one of those things. Do you know anybody else whose successful mission do you know anybody else's names? That's in the national news. Besides anyone who's died because of a failed crash or anything like that.
What's your point? I mean, I don't know.
Well, give me a minute and let me get through the rest of them.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is because, to your point of why there's probably like very little conspiracy theories about any of these missions, is because it doesn't matter. Because we've done that.
So Apollo 11 had to be the one to show that we can do it.
Yeah, and there's going to be conspiracies about it because
so many people saw it.
So many people saw it, and it's just like 9/11. It's just like JFK. There's too many eyes, and with too many eyes, you're going to have people's opinions about it.
Okay,
and
you're right.
You're right. What I'm saying. That's why to your point out your question from before. You're not going to have a lot of conspiracy theories about Apollo 12 or Apollo 13 or Apollo 14 or 15 or 16 or 17.
11 didn't exist, so these don't matter.
That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is they do matter, obviously.
It didn't have the mass attention of the people.
No, I get that, but again, if these lunar people, if these lunar
conspiracy
deniers say that didn't happen, they're not going to say the other ones happened. Why would they?
I don't know. You have to talk to them.
If they happened, then that one had to happen.
You have to talk to them.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. I don't see nobody brought that up. So
is anybody a lunar denier out here?
Yeah, if you are, please, you're going to hear.
Let's ask our audience.
Yeah, you're going to hear our, first time this episode, you're going to hear all of our social media pages at the end. Please contact us on one of those and please explain to us your opinions about any of these. If you have any opinions about these Apollo 11 missions, Apollo 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, any of those.
Well, Apollo missions. Apollo 11 was just the one that landed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, Apollo 12 landed too, apparently.
Yeah, Apollo 12 landed too.
Apollo 12 was the second manned mission to land on the moon. The crew was Charles Conrad Jr., Richard F. Gordon, Alan L. Bean. You have Apollo 13, but that one was a failure because there was an explosion in one of the oxygen tanks.
Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that one failed because there was an explosion in one of the oxygen tanks that crippled the spacecraft during flight, and the crew were forced to orbit the moon and return to Earth without landing.
And that's another part. I'm glad you brought that up because what they had to do to get Apollo 13 back home was nothing short of a miracle. Okay, don't forget, these guys are now 250,000 miles out there. That's
a long while to walk.
They are literally without any power in the capsule, so they have to crawl into the lunar module. Okay, and it was only designed for 2, but they had 3 people in there. That was the thing that they were sustaining their life with, because they couldn't do it in the capsule at that point.
Yeah.
They had to save whatever fuel that they had left. So they were actually driving through space in the lunar module attached to the capsule, which it's not designed to do. And they would always, the one, I forgot the captain's name. You would think I would know this, but.
Well,
is it James Lovell?
Yeah,
James Lovell.
They only put 3: James A. Lovell Jr., John L. Swigert Jr., and Fred W. Heiss Jr.
Okay, well, Jimmy Lovell, he was the one that actually, he would say we'd have to turn the we have to steer it left so it would steer right. They had to retrain themselves up there. Yeah. They had to do all of that, and for them to get home, it was just nothing short of a miracle. So I look at it this way: if they were in that much danger and they figured it out on the run to get home, and get home alive, then that right there, I have no doubts about the lunar landing. I have no doubts about the fact that we got there. Now, you want to say they added footage, that's fine. But again, why? Why would you? With 3 hours up there, why would you?
I told you why.
But that also goes into Apollo 14, and one of the comments you made, the golf ball thing. It says Apollo 14, the commander Alan Shepard made his famous move on the moon where he hit 2 golf balls on the moon.
Right.
And that was 14. That was Alan Shepard Jr., Stuart A. Russa, and Edgar D. Mitchell.
$30 billion for this man to go up and hit a golf ball on the moon? Did he find it at least?
I mean, at that point, he's living the dream, if you ask me, but...
I'm saying that's a lot of money for a T hit.
There's a lot of money up there, period. I mean, look at the shit we left behind. You got these lunar rovers. At that time, they were $1 million a piece. And there's at least 4 or 5 of them up there.
Yeah, okay. Apollo 15 actually says that. That's one of the highlights. First flight of the lunar roving vehicle.
Right.
That one had the crew of David R. Scott, Alfred M. Worden, and James B. Irwin. And then you have Apollo 16. Landed in Highlands area, a region not yet explored on the moon. There was an experiment conducted that included the first use of a spectrograph, or ultraviolet camera, on the moon. And that was the crew of John W. Young, Thomas K. Mattingly, and Charles M. Duke Jr. And then last but not least, at least for the list, Apollo 17 returned the greatest amount of rock and soil samples from the moon. Eugene Cernan still holds distinction of being the last man to walk on the moon, as no humans have visited the moon since December 4th, 1972. And they say the crew was Eugene Cernan, Ronald B. Evans, and Harrison H. Schmidt. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I get Joey's point that there's going to be theories because that is the first one of Apollo 11, and they're going to question it. But you literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 more after. Like, you can't keep questioning one thing if there was at least 6 more after that.
That's exactly how I feel. Now, again, if you want to break it down, now getting back to the topic at hand, was it real or not? I believe it was real.
Well, I believe it was real too.
So we're basically all on the same page. It was real.
Yeah.
It's just that you believe that there was extra footage that was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, again, if you can come up with any kind of evidence of that, I'd be more than glad to sit.
I will put stuff on the Facebook page and I'll put stuff on the Instagram to show people what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, now, I mean, anybody that's out there that's listening to this, if you have an opinion, but it's just an opinion. It's
Interact with us.
That's
let
right.
us know. Let us know.
So just let us know what you're thinking, because we're just four
comment, like,
sitting
subscribe.
in the booth. We want to hear your input.
Yeah,
so, but tell you can't agree with Joe III. You can't agree with Joe III.
Why? Because if more people agree with me, you're gonna sit
No,
there and
look, hey, you know what? If they
You're gonna have your own fan base, and
I don't care if they agree with you or they disagree with me or they agree with me or they disagree with Josh or Ryu. I don't care.
Stand outside
As
your
long
house
as
with
they're listening, I don't give a
like
fuck.
it's Frankenstein and shit. Like, we agree with Joey.
I don't care. Come.
As long as
Come,
they're
my
listening,
people.
I don't care who it is. I don't care. Just listen.
Yes, let's keep downloading, motherfuckers.
Let's be honest. They all come here for Big Joe, me, and Eric, okay?
Oh, so just leave me the fuck out. The head of the company, they leave me the fuck out.
Yep.
That's fine.
Here we go.
Cool.
Yep.
That's
He's
cool.
the head, all right. He was the head. Now he's the entire penis.
Yep.
That's fine. A big, strong,
Okay.
big dick.
And he went there.
Anyway, so I think this was a good episode, guys.
No, it was okay. You're wrong again, but it's okay.
Interesting topic.
It was
Thank you,
interesting.
Eric, for bringing this topic to us.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Because this is the first time I think that me and Dad actually had to sit down on a podcast and disagree or agree to disagree.
You're still wrong. Anyway, I got a question. Upcoming episodes. What do we got going?
Do you not look at the list?
Joe, I'm working again. It's kind of tough.
I think next is Scientology.
Is it? No. Well, we got a schedule, folks. I don't know if you want to hear it, but
Yeah, bring it up, Josh, because I sure don't know what the fuck's going on.
The schedule I have that I made up. Because, obviously nobody
Man with
listens.
the ego.
Our next episode is going to be the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Oh, okay.
okay, we all need to do our homework on this one. No excuses.
Oh, yeah.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
I'm just going with that one right now. That's my verdict.
All right, and to
That'll be a
close out
3-minute show.
close
The
out
intro will
season
be
2
longer.
of our season 2 of our Is This Real show is Scientology. That's going to close out. And I'm not going to, at the end of the Scientology episode, I'll tell you what the main theme for season 3 is going to be. And I'll tell the people out there. But keep listening. You have a couple of more weeks until we get hit to the end of season 4. But I think season 3, there's a good central theme with a couple good episodes thrown in here and there.
And also, if you guys have topics out there that you want to discuss, you want to hear us discuss, shoot us an email or whatever on the social media pages.
Yeah, and you'll hear those social media pages at the end of this episode. And we also are working on a Patreon. So if you guys want to, get exclusive content and we're going to get more in depth with our content and certain cases that we're going to bring up. It could just be one of us talking, could be all 4 of us, it could be 2 of us, it doesn't matter. If there's something we want to talk about, we're going to put it up there. And if you guys want us to talk about it, we'll put it up on the Patreon too. So please, I'll get the details of the Patreon out because we're still working the details out with the Patreon, but it's going to go up there, right guys? So thanks for listening.
It's going to be fabulous.
It's going to be fabulous. It's amazing. Thanks for the topic tonight, Eric. It was a really good topic.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
So good night, everybody. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yatsumi.
Later.
Good night, everybody. Yo, everyone. This is Roadblock speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at Is This Real Podcast, all one word.